Alright, so I recorded like a little bit of a vlog and really planned on posting that and doing my normal thing this week. But then I just felt like God had some things to say. And it was during a time for me where I'm looking at fourth quarter of the year, looking at October through December, and also looking at my current situation. I made a video on last six best six, and when I did that, I took a lot of different practices, kind of put them together, and saw some transition in my life happen. And in the last 3 months, I've also seen like the old me stir up with the new me together to bring a passion about some of the old things I used to do back in a huge way that helped me see some old things in myself that I missed. My home screen now is actually a picture of me about 4 years ago where I overlaid this graph where it's a big circle and it says the world that I fit in, and then in a small circle inside of that big circle says will not exist until I create it. And it's something that's motivated me, and it's something that's changed me. It's really a great description of what I'm feeling right now. The world I fit into will not exist until I create it. It is in my hands. God has placed a purpose and a design over my life, over your life, to fit into a specific circle, to bring a certain impact, and to reach a certain people group while on this earth. And it's not until I take courage, I take heart, I place boundaries, I seek out accountability, I drive into what He's calling me to dive into, and then I seek out His goodness and His truth inside of that, and His great will inside of that for me, that I will then realize potential and purpose and fruit and the true expression of who Seth is in the fullest. And I've had hints of that. But now I'm trying to chase out and seek and find that ultimate place where I can sit in that at all times. Sit in the peace of God at all times. And so I wrote out for me personally kind of like a what is success statement, an ingredient list of what does it take, and then from there the grocery list of what are the small things that help me, what do I need to go gather, what product do I need to then make the ingredients or the directions to then create the success that is my definition for this next 3 months, for the next year, for my life, ultimately. And when I'm in that, when I'm sitting in that, God changes me and God teaches me something. And this is just what I wrote down. It says, it can be your mistake and still be inside of God's purpose. So, you messed up. It can be your mistake and still be inside of God's purpose. Don't let the shame of messing up turn into the worry that God doesn't still have you. God's bigger than your decisions and your detriment. You see, there's this analogy of the olive tree, and the olive tree is my hope. It is the analogy of life with Christ for me and you from a biblical stance. In the biblical times, olives were used in the crushing and the pressing to create the oil that kept the lamps burning. In the crushing moments of our lives, in the pressing moments of our lives, in the pressure of this life, we see the fruit in the oil and the anointing that helps our flame continue to burn on this earth. In the grafting of the olive tree, grafting is when we see a branch that has lost life, that has no hope, connected to a tree that holds life. And we see life brought back to this branch just through the connection. Yes, you may have messed up. Yes, you may be hurting. Yes, you may be in success. But in order to see the new in our lives come, there must be a death to the old. You see, there's a quote. It says, if God can take away the person you never thought you could lose, what is it to him to bring the person you never thought you'd find? There's a person, there's a group, there's people out there in this life for the next phase of your life. Don't let the fear of the crushing or the fear of losing, the fear of dying to one thing keep you from the life of another. And that's what God's been showing me. It's just this pressing, this timing, this opportunity to see God do far above and far greater in my life. Right now, it's doing the clothing brand. You see, I hosted a prayer night 2 weeks ago. That prayer night, it lit something in me that I hadn't seen in a long time. 5-6 years ago now, when I was around 19 years old, I started a ministry. And I started that ministry, and it brought ideas to life in me. It brought vision and purpose to life in me. After having injury after injury, playing baseball, thinking that was my purpose in this life, God brought a new purpose and a divine purpose into my life, lifted me out of sorrow, lifted me out of hurt, lifted me out of doubt, lifted me out of insecurity, and put me into a space where I could just be a mirror of His goodness and His truth. And when I left Valdosta, when I moved on, there had been a loss of something inside of me. There was a lot of hurt in Valdosta in me that God released of me when I came to Athens. But there was a sense of missing what I once had in the opportunity to live out in such a beautiful way there. And I saw that 2 weeks ago. I saw that in helping people find Jesus again. Helping people find Christ again. And what I'm seeing now is God is shedding the old of both of those things to create something new again in me. Connecting me to a new tree. Maybe connecting me to new people. And being ready and being accepting to the loss of old to see the birth of new. Don't allow the fear and the worry of making the wrong decision, doing the wrong thing, keep you from going after the next thing. Because here's what I have the confidence in. It can be your mistake and still be in God's purpose. Don't lose sight. Don't lose hope. That's my message. That's my goal. That's Q4. For us, for me, for you, and for the world, walking with confidence that God is bigger than my decision and my detriments. I love you. God bless. Peace.